From the Smith Center in Chapel Hill, this is TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and alongside me, as it usually is, THI publisher Andrew Jones. We're in the practice gym tonight. Music's still blaring out there on the Smith Center court. It's about 2 hours after the game ended, but music's still going hard out there, so obviously we can't record out there for sound purposes. But we're here in the practice gym. Might hear a little echo on the volume, or on the sound, excuse me, but some pretty cool stuff in here. Obviously, Carolina losing tonight in overtime, 98-96 to Duke. Tough game, to say the least. A crazy game, to say the least.
Yeah, just bizarre.
Very bizarre. I tweeted it during the game. It's the craziest game I've ever covered. I don't know if AJ's covered a lot more than I have. I'm sure it's got to be up there with him, too. But AJ, I think the first place we have to start when dissecting this game is Carolina's free throw shooting. 21 for 38 on the night, 5 for 13 down the stretch, including a 2 for 9 stretch during that last, well, I can't remember how many minutes it was exactly that stretch went on.
356.
356, AJ with the stat right there. But Carolina's free throw shooting tonight. They came into this game one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country, I think they're like 312 out of 350. So shooting 65% on the season. It's not a surprise that they've struggled tonight. But in the fashion they did, AJ, they were in control for it seemed like the majority of this game. And they start missing free throws. Trey Jones starts making buckets, getting to the rim, doing crazy stuff. Goes to overtime, and Carolina loses in bizarre fashion.
Roy said after the game that, look, we did things in the first half, too, that affected the outcome. They were 4 for 10 at one point in the first half, 5 for 11, I think, at halftime for the free throw line. Made 7 of the first 8 in the second half and just didn't hit anything the rest of the game,
it got cold,
And it was a lot of different guys. I know people are going to point to Garrison Brooks. He's 0 for his last 12 from the free throw line in this building. He's 4 for his last 20 from the free throw line overall. I asked Roy, first question in the press conference, about the mental element of free throw shooting. It's not just a physical thing. And he gave a pretty good answer, saying, if anybody's ever played golf or baseball or something like that, you see great baseball hitters go up there and go for over 20 stumps.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right. The same thing like with Tiger Woods and golf, you get a little chip, you think so much about it, you're going to miss it. Well, that's the same thing with free throw shooting. Justin Pierce said that tonight.
Some really good quotes,
Yeah. If they hit just one, they win.
Yeah, it's
if
easy
they
to
hit
say,
one last week against BC, they win. If they hit another one against Virginia Tech, they win. If they hit another one against Clemson, they win. This is a bad free throw shooting team.
Absolutely.
Aside from Garrison Brooks' 17 for 18 against Georgia Tech, he's been under 50%. He's been bad all year.
Hasn't been good enough.
Hasn't, and he's just not coming around, and it's clearly mental to him. You mentioned what they are ranked in.
It's like 312, I think, out of 350.
But they're in the 300s in every kind of shooting.
Oh yeah, I know
they don't even shoot well around the rim.
The only thing they're really good at is rebounding, statistically.
Yeah, well, they did some good things tonight. We're going to hit on those in a few minutes. But the free throw shooting clearly cost them this game. There are a lot of other reasons why they lost as well. Okay, the defense late was not good.
No.
They could not guard Trey Jones.
No, they could not
Trey Jones took over. When you leave Baker and O'Connell open for threes,
they're hitting threes.
They're going to hit open threes.
That's
what those guys do. And especially when the defense is being sucked in because Trey Jones is taking over and doing his. That's why he's such a good player. And, Duke did all that stuff with Vernon Carey on the bench. So
I know. Didn't score a point.
You told Carolina fans before the game they're going to shoot over 50% from the field. Okay, they were going to get 13 and 11 from Keeling and Pierce. All right, they were going to assist on 23 of 36 baskets. They were going to have 36 baskets, and Carey would foul out of the game.
And it scored 0 points in the second half.
It scored 0 points in the second half. You think, my gosh, the Tar Heels are going to win big.
Yeah.
They're going to win walking away. Didn't happen.
Nope.
21 for 30 from the free throw line, 2 for the last 9, blah, blah, blah. That's where they lost this game.
Gotta make your free throws.
Yeah.
It seems like a really, I guess, a thing that kind of keeps repeating with this team this year is they really struggle with finding ways to win down the stretch. They really, at this point, don't know how to win down the stretch. When things really matter, when things get tight, we've seen it against Florida State recently. We've seen it against Georgia Tech, Boston College. We almost saw it against Yale. I think you said, there's been 8 games this year where Carolina has just found a way to lose in a lot of ways.
Since December 4th. Yeah. This is February 8th, so you can do the numbers.
Yeah, Carolina, it just seems like at times, and for a majority of this season, when Carolina gets in late game situations where they find themselves in the game, they can't find a way to win, and they usually end up losing.
Yeah, it's
crazy to see.
It's like 8 times in the last 68, 69 days.
It's unbelievable.
So it's, every 8 days, every 9 days, this team allows a huge second half run in a game they either led comfortably or were nip and tuck in, and they allow the opponent to go on that run and secure a victory. Either send it in overtime where the opponent eventually wins, or
if it gets Clemson.
Well, let's list it. We've done it before. Let's do it again. Okay. Ohio State 35-12.
As one.
All right. Virginia, 16-3 over a 7-minute stretch in the second half. And let's remind everybody, 16-3 run by Virginia is like 28-7 by everybody else.
Multiply by 2 or 3.
Exactly. Wofford, 16-0 over in Carmichael. Okay. Pittsburgh, that one was 41-22 in the Dean Dome. Clemson was 12-2 in the Dean Dome. Virginia Tech, if you include overtime, it was 42-22 because that scored Carolina 19-11 overtime. There was 23-11 to close regulation. And then you've got, how many have I listed right there?
That's 5. That's 6 right there.
That's 6. Okay, we got tonight. That's 8. And then they had one here.
Boston College?
Boston College,
yeah. So that's 8 right there,
Yeah, so sorry if we can't remember them all.
It's crazy. That's pretty good.
I've always wondered how, teachers can remember names of all their students.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's tough. I wouldn't be able to do that.
That's like this, remembering all these. We're not making fun of the meltdowns. We're highlighting them because I think one of the core problems is teams, they don't know how to win. They don't know how to win games. They don't know how to close people out. I talked to a very well-known, long-time columnist in the State after the game today, and he said that he thinks it's a broken team. Broken teams can play well for 35 minutes, but when everything is on the line and they need to be at peak performance and execute in near pristine manner, broken teams don't do that late. And this team shows all the symptoms of that. Now,
that's a good point.
I'm not saying they're a broken team in terms of problems in the locker room or anything like that. I'm just saying that when they get to crunch time, they don't get the job. And let's not forget in overtime today. Okay, now Duke closed tonight 20-7 in regulation. In overtime, Carolina led by 5 with 20 seconds left. Duke outscored them 7-0 in the last 20 seconds.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it really is.
And I know that there's the 3-point shot and everything like that, but let's remember Walter Davis in 1974, they 7-0 run the Senate in overtime. Well, Duke did something similar here tonight. It won't go down in history that kind of way.
No.
The Trey Jones missed free throw that caromed off the rim. It was like Minnesota Fats on a pool table. How he made that, it was like a trick shot.
It's unbelievable what he did right there.
Yeah, so
happens 1 in 100 times.
His team doesn't close people out. Don't shoot free throws. Don't close people out, and that's why they're 10-13.
For all the negatives you can talk about from this game, I mean, like I said, Carolina was in control of this game for a majority of it. And they did some really good things on offense. The most points they've scored all season, 96. I mean, Cole Anthony looked a little bit better. You didn't see Cole Anthony like you see him against Florida State taking 20-plus shots. I can't remember his final stat line for field goal-wise, but he took less than 20 shots tonight, played well. I know at one point in the second half he was 5 for 11, so close to 50%. Almost had a double-double tonight. But Carolina offensively played better than they have. It just came down to that stretch when they needed to make those free throws. They couldn't do it. But for the majority of this game, Carolina's offense looked, as good as we've seen it all season. And I guess going into the rest of the season when Carolina's trying to salvage what they can, that's one positive you can take out of tonight.
You might carve out one shot attempt, one drive by Cole late in the game.
Absolutely.
When they probably should have pulled out and run a little bit more clock and tried to find something else. But that's one. I mean, there was myriad Monday night in Tallahassee.
Yeah, you saw that first.
He attempted 24 shots, or 22. He was 5 for 22. Tonight he attempted 17 shots, 13 in regulation. And he scored 24 points. Yeah. And he had 15 or 16 in Tallahassee.
This sounds a lot better, yeah.
Tar Heels assisted on, 23 of 36 field goals tonight. Leaky Black was on the ball a lot. I asked a few of the players about that, and they were like, yeah, this was a good thing. Because
that triple-double, yeah.
The spacing was better. The movement was better. The cutting was better. The passing, the recognition, the awareness, all that kind of stuff was better. They posted better. Garrison posted really well in stretches tonight, and they got him the ball. And he turned and scored. There were a couple times where he posted real well. He got his rear end down real low, so he had to, he owned that space. He turned, got him on his hip, and made moves and scored. And he was very comfortable against Carey a lot of the night too. He was doing that as well. So they ran the court well in transition.
Absolutely, I thought
at
really
one
well.
point they had an 8-0 edge in fast break points, and then 16-8. But Duke scored the last 14 fast break points.
That was a crazy stat you said after the game.
Because that's what this team does.
Yeah, that's what happens,
but that it was 16-8. Baycott twice gets dunks in transition. He got rewarded for busting his butt down the floor.
I thought he did a really good job in that first half.
I actually think, and Roy even said after the game, he said, I was pissed. Well, I can't say pissed. I was ticked after Boston College.
That's what he said, yeah.
That's what he said. But he didn't say that wasn't the case tonight. There were a lot of positives.
Absolutely.
For Andrew Platek played his rear end off
best
tonight.
Game I've seen play,
gritty game. The people that dog him have just got to stop.
Yeah.
He's not going to Larry Bird you to death, but he's doing things within his power to try to help this team be in position to win, and that's what they have been.
Yeah.
They're not getting blown out. They're losing close games because they don't have that little edge. They don't have the confidence, and they miss these dadgum free throws to take Roy's words.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
So they did a lot of good things tonight. at this point, it's not about worrying about the record. They don't need to worry about the record. I would tell Carolina fans, don't worry about the record of this team right now.
Point,
yeah, they are. They're 10-13, they're 3-9 in the league. Just get better.
Trying to improve.
You've got what do they got? 8 more regular season games left.
Wake Forest early next week. And
8 more regular season games left.
Too,
a lot of opportunities to improve. You got to assume guys like Baycott are back. Remember early in the year he had trouble running the court, and the secondary break and the whole mindset of it and everything. Well, those things are picking up. A lot of these guys are going to be back. Some of them aren't going to be back, but as long as they finish this thing improving, it'll be a better off season. They'll feel better about whatever they've done this year. This isn't a vintage team, obviously. They're not going to achieve what these banners reflect in this building right here. They're not going to hang one of those things, but they can still get better. And I thought they got better tonight, even though they still have to learn how to win, and they got to make some free throws. They still got better in so many areas. And they actually defended really well in stretches tonight.
Yeah, they did.
So and they out-rebounded, 51 rebounds. They out-rebounded Duke. Duke's a really good rebounding team.
Like I said, you take those final 4 minutes away, it's a pretty good performance.
Just hit a couple free throws.
Yeah, then we're having a totally different conversation.
Win a game like this and say, we can actually do this.
Yeah.
But, the chicken or egg thing, right?
If they make some free throws, they're still partying on Franklin Street right now. So, that's how it goes, though.
It would take us 6 hours to get out of this place.
Yeah, that's how it goes, though. But for CharlieIllustrated.com and Jacob Turner, he's and Andrew Jones. Obviously, Carolina losing again tonight, 98-96 in overtime to Duke. We'll be back early next week, traveling to Winston-Salem for Carolina's 8 p.m. matchup with Wake Forest. Be sure to like and share this video if you've enjoyed it, and check out CharlieIllustrated.com. We've got a ton of post-game content coming your way. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.